Hi, this is Kim Reads Urantia. So good to be here with you. And I'm going to read from the Urantia book today. But first, I got Light the Flame by Andrew Harvey. And it's December 11th. This is Zarathustra's prayer in, Nietzsche's, I suppose it's from Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Nietzsche, of course, controversial figure. Why he's cited in spiritual texts. He wrote a lot about spirituality, but he himself was not a believer. And I don't know, but you have to let the words stand for themselves, I guess. Yeah, I've done some research on him. Fascinating person. I don't know. You have to judge for yourself. I'm not here to condemn Nietzsche, and that's a lot of people really value his work. I think from what my understanding is, he put too much onus on humankind. We're not able to deliver what the overman, the superhuman, is not able to deliver what he felt we were capable of delivering. The greatest society, and this was, he lived at the end of the 1800s. So there was all, progress. There was the industrial age was going on, and people, the intellectual set then did not believe we need God. So rising above this need for God, but then we wouldn't be human. We'd be trying to be gods ourselves, and that's really what he was advocating. And it gets to kind of, because he drove him crazy. It drove him mad. The last years of his life, 10 years of life, he was only 55 when he died, but he was kind of in a vegetative state because he had a total break with reality. Okay. Let my animals guide me, for I have found it more dangerous among men than among animals. Absolutely true. People, we are the most dangerous animal, for sure, on a lot of levels, but we also have the potential. But there, this character. But I think he wrote in character. So it wasn't necessarily him talking. See, that makes it more complicated. But complicated person, Friedrich Nietzsche. So anyway, all right, we're going to read from the Urantia book next. Okay. I think I've got. Okay. All right. We're reading paper 28, the Tertiary Seconaphim. The Tertiary Seconaphim. We've been reading about these different categories of Seconaphim. Seconaphim being the angels of the grand universe at large. Or the Supernaphim are the angels of Habona and Paradise. Right? And then the Seraphim, which are assigned to the various local universes, are under them. So it's very, there's hierarchy in heaven. There is. but I think it's very broad-based. It's not totally rigid. I mean, some parts of it are, some parts of it need to be. And I don't know. It's like a balance between structure and freedom, because we need some structure, but we need to have freedom in those spaces, and there's a lot of room to explore in here. So I really appreciate this about this book. It's so much detail in those larger structures, but I feel like it's very liberating. It works for me. What am I going to say? Okay, all right. So this is section 6 of paper 28, the Tertiary Seconaphim. In the same manner as their fellows, these angels are created serially and in 7 reflective types, but these types are not assigned individually to the separate services of the super-universe administrators. All tertiary Seconaphim are collectively assigned to the trinitized sons of attainment. Okay, the trinitized sons of attainment. And these ascendant sons use them interchangeably. That is, the mighty messengers can and do utilize any of the tertiary types, but so do their coordinates, those high in authority and those without name and number. These 7 types of tertiary Seconaphim are. Okay, so there's in service of the trinitized sons of attainment. So remember, these are mortal beings that have ascended to the highest possible degree and have earned the Trinity embrace. They have been embraced by the trinitized sons of attainment. So that's really, it's like when we get to heaven and achieve like audience with the Father in there, and then we're mustered into the core of the finality. But some certain beings are taken even further from that into the trinitized sons of attainment, which is a really glorious thing. So these angels serve these mortal beings. Last night I watched a show about that, how these angels are resentful that mortal beings should be raised above them because they're older than and they're the first born, and God loved them first, and all this kind of stuff. I don't think that really exists except on our imagination, more or less. I mean, very few, very minuscule is that, if that happens at all. I don't know. And it's true that as mortals, we start from a lowlier place, because we have a soul, and angels don't have thought adjusters the way that we do, but they have their own blessings and their own joys and their own challenges, and I'm grateful to them. I need them with me, with the idea that they get jealous of, or that they, I don't know, but that's for the movies, you know what I mean? Hollywood producers got to make a Got to make a living, I guess, right? Okay. But this idea of like war and heaven and no. There's rebellions that happen out here. They're localized in terms of how vast the omniverse, the master universe is so vast. And some, a lot of parts of it are just evolving and going through those throes of development that are necessary to experientially achieve perfection. So yeah, one of the first things I learned when I started studying this book, you have this idea, because you're taught to fear the devil and fear evil and stuff like this, and Lucifer. So you have this idea, this war in heaven where Lucifer is almost equal to God. Like they're like Zoroastrianism teaches the war between good and evil. Well, good beats evil, but only by a small margin. And God cast Lucifer out, but it was really close. It was really close. And no, it's not close. It's not even close. Lucifer is a being subordinate to Jesus Christ that betrayed Jesus, and Jesus is way down there in the hierarchies, divine being, but down below, like the different levels on the local universe level. There's the super universe government level. He's subordinate to superiors from this super universe level. So this bigger and more complicated, and everything's okay. You have to be connected to this higher thing, this higher order of existence. That's what's real. I'm just really going off on what I saw last night. I watched this. Oh gosh, this old 90s movie. Christopher Walken. Wow. And Viggo Mortensen. Wow. All right. So these are the different types of tertiary seconaphim. 1. The significance of origins. The ascendant trinitized sons of a super universe government are charged with the responsibility of dealing with all issues growing out of the origin of any individual race or world. And the significance of origin is the paramount question in all our plans for the cosmic advancement of the living creatures of the realm. All relationships and the application of ethics grow out of the fundamental facts of origin. Origin is the basis of the relational reaction of the gods. Always does the conjoint actor take note of the man, in what manner he was born. So gosh, my nose itches. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so the origin of how we came to be and under what circumstances, those are, our lives are kind of imprinted with that. And no matter how much you grow, you kind of carry that with you, because from the circumstances you were born in, that's what you perceive as normal. Because when you're young, you think that everything around you is just the way it is, the way everything is bigger than you are, and you're subject to this. And whatever mommy and daddy say, even if mommy and daddy are lunatics, whatever they say is correct and irrevocable, unassailable. So you're imprinted with that reality, and learning to, see your parents in their inadequacies and forgive them for whatever they didn't do right is a huge aspect of growth during this lifetime. Which is, again, like another topic entirely, but yeah, because they're human. They're not going to do everything right. And parenting is a big job. And they're not going to understand everything about you because you're a unique being apart from them. And you're different than them. And they're doing what they know, which is operating from an incomplete knowledge base. And they're trying probably to juggle a lot of things, your brothers and sisters and their careers and their own spiritual beliefs and their own family issues. So learning to see all that and forgive that and forgive them that is paramount in your development. So because those relationships, those early relationships, and how you see the world then is impacting everything you see around you, every relationship you have. But we go. So that's how they understand this person, their actions, as to how their past, how their origins are impacting their decision making ability and what motivates them. Okay, with the higher descendant beings, origin is simply a fact to be ascertained. So the descending sons of God. Okay, where you come from, it's much more simple. You're a child of the infinite spirit with the creator son of the, this universe, such like that. So you're going to be obviously this, a bias this way. Okay, it's so obvious. But but with the ascending beings, including the lower classes of angels ascend. Wow. Hey, the nature and circumstances of origin are not always so clear, though of equally vital importance at almost every turn of universe affairs. Hence the value of having at our disposal a series of reflective Seconaphim who can instantly portray anything required respecting the genesis of any being in either the central universe or throughout the entire realm of the superuniverse. Excellent, right? The significances of origins are the living, ready reference genealogies of the vast hosts of beings, men, angels, and others who inhabit the 7 superuniverses. They are always ready to supply their superiors with an up-to-date, replete, and trustworthy estimate of the ancestral factors and the current actual status of any individual on any world of their respective superuniverses. And their computation of possessed facts is always up to the minute. So they understand your development from your origins up to whatever current phase you're at. They just know this. Okay, 2. Oh, the memory of mercy. Okay, the memory of mercy. These are the actual, full and replete living records of the mercy which has been extended to individuals and races by the tender ministrations of the instrumentalities of the infinite spirit in the mission of adapting the justice of righteousness to the status of the realms, as disclosed by the portrayals of the significance of origins. Okay, so where the significance of origins takes off, here the memories of mercy pick up, and they decide what merciful interventions are most appropriate for this individual or this race of beings because of certain certain status within them. Yeah. The memory of mercy discloses the moral debt of the children of mercy, their spiritual liabilities. So everything that you did wrong, every person you hurt, it's written down. These guys have that. And they know if you made an honest mistake with terrible consequences, or were just careless, or were deliberate in some way. They'll deliver this mercy, and they keep track of how much mercy can be extended to you, because we can't just like keep on waiting for you to get on the bus here if you're just out there doing naughty things and you don't want to. We gotta take everybody with us, you know. Okay, the memory of mercy discloses the moral debt of the children of mercy, their spiritual liabilities to be set down against their assets of the saving provision established by the sons of God. In revealing the Father's pre-existent mercy, the sons of God establish the necessary credit to ensure the survival of all. Right, because they want us to, can't just wait around for this one person, this one group of people to get it together, because that does start to hurt the people that are already on the bus, because they're spiritually hungry and they need justice, and they so we can't overtax that, right? So we need to ensure the survival of all. So right. And then, in accordance with the findings of the significance of origins, a mercy credit is established for the survival of each rational creature, a credit of lavish proportions and one of sufficient grace to ensure the survival of every soul who really desires divine citizenship. So this is interesting. So that means it, like, you know, there's almost like a bank account of keeping track of how much mercy we have bestowed upon you, how long we've been waiting for you to get your stuff together, right? So when that's used up, but this is a lavish proportions. But, you know, I've so wondered, oh gosh, it's so that those people who are left behind, like the Tim LaHaye thing. If you're okay, that's I don't know, because this talks within the framework of a single time-space continuum, but we know that there are many time-space continuums. And if you're not able to let go of whatever is captivating you in this lifetime, there'll be some part of you, especially if you're bestowed with a thought adjuster, then that's like God's kind of like mark on you that, hey, you know, you're in. But if you rebel against that, if you're fighting against that thought adjuster, then that can, but you know, that has existence throughout, a ripple effect throughout the time-space continuum. So you have many different images of yourself throughout these waves of time and space. And at one of them, you know, you're going to be uplifted. And you're going to be able to resist temptation, because it's a probability game. It's the same. It's the same thing as if you know, if a salesman makes, you know, 100 cold calls, one of them is going to, talk about whatever they're selling. And out of them, 1 out of 10 of them is going to make a purchase, right? Or something like that. So when we're working within the framework of infinity here. Okay. So, but there are beings out here that have just not been bestowed a thought adjuster. And I don't know, heaven sees them, and they might have human bodies, but they're walking around and they have actually the consciousness level of an animal, because they don't understand, but there's I can't judge that ever, because there's aspects of these people, even the most distasteful people. There's aspects of them that I'm not privy to, I'm not witness to. So, and their angels may be helping them on a level that I'm not aware of. So I have imperfect awareness, imperfect, so I can't use that to judge that. But all of this is coming together in a gradual way, and you just have to trust the process. But anyway, so these memories of mercy are here with us to determine that here. Yeah, okay. The memory of mercy is a living trial balance, a current statement of your account with the supernatural forces of the realms. You have an account, your mercy credits. I have an account. I'm scared. I don't want to overdraw that account, right? You don't want to write checks on there. Don't write checks on that account. These are the living records of mercy ministration, which are read into the testimony of the courts of Uversa when each individual's right to unending life comes up for adjudication. When thrones are cast up and the ancients of days are seated. Oh, wow. The broadcasts of Uversa issue and come forth from before them. Thousands upon thousands minister to them, and 10,000 times 10,000. 10,000 times 10,000. That's 100 million. Right? I don't care. And okay, the broadcasts of Uversa issue and come forth from before them. Thousands upon thousands minister to them, and 10,000 times 10,000 stand before them. The judgment is set, and the books are opened. And the books which are opened on such a momentous occasion are the living records of the Tertiary Seconaphim of the superuniverses. The formal records are on file to corroborate the testimony of the memories of mercy if they are required. The memory of mercy must show that the saving credit established by the sons of God has been fully and faithfully paid out in the loving ministry of the patient personalities of the third source and center. But when mercy is exhausted, when the memory thereof testifies to its depletion, then does justice prevail and righteousness decree. For mercy is not to be thrust upon those who despise it. Mercy is not a gift to be trampled underfoot by the persistent rebels of time. Nevertheless, though mercy is thus precious and dearly bestowed, your individual drawing credits are always far in excess of your ability to exhaust the reserve if you are sincere of purpose and honest of heart. Wow. Okay. So this is really interesting too. Right. Wow. I always think it's interesting, the memory of mercy, memory of mercy. Why is it memory of mercy? And yeah, because when you remember, maybe it has to do with like when a person can't remember, literally can't think of a time when life was good to me, or thinks that there's literally no possibility, or we can't even remember a time. Because if you can remember a time when life was good, then you can look forward to maybe it can be good. Or can't remember a time when anybody was kind to me. If a person actually believes that they can't even remember a time when there was anything wholesome or good that was given to me, not one thing, maybe that's when it's time to be done. Okay. But it sounds very, very sad, but it is, and it's a loss. And okay. The Mercy Reflectors, with their tertiary associates, engaged in numerous super-universe ministries, including the teaching of the ascending creatures. Among many other things, the Significance of Origins teach these ascenders how to apply spirit ethics, and following such training, the Memories of Mercy teach them how to be truly merciful. Right. So the Significance of Origins correspond with these Memories of Mercy, and they teach each other. While the spirit techniques of mercy ministry are beyond your concept, you should even now understand that mercy is a quality of growth. You should realize that there is a great reward of personal satisfaction in being first just, then next fair. It's not the same thing. Then patient, and then kind. Because it's interesting how that's fair is different than just. Okay, so fair, just would be like an eye for an eye. Okay, you give what you get. Fair probably takes into account the motivations of the parties involved. Okay, which our justice system is just starting to do. We're at the beginning phases, I think, of trying to be fair, but patient and kind. I don't know. Patient and kind. I wouldn't describe it there. And then on that foundation, if you choose and have it in your heart, you can take the next step and really show mercy. But you cannot exhibit mercy in and of itself, because the people, you won't respect it unless you've gone through these steps must be traversed. Otherwise, there can be no genuine mercy. There may be patronage, condescension, or charity, even pity, but not mercy. True mercy comes only as the beautiful climax to these preceding adjuncts to group understanding, mutual appreciation, fraternal fellowship, spiritual communion, and divine harmony. So that's interesting. So you are incapable of even exhibiting mercy unless you have reached a level of spiritual development and understanding of your fellow creatures, fellow mortals. if you can demonstrate to them that they can believe that you understand their predicament and you understand even the horrors, even the bad parts of where they're coming from. If they feel that, you see them and show mercy to that, then they can appreciate that, and then they have this choice. The choice is delivered to them truly, and they can perceive that they have a choice to continue down the errant path or to turn toward righteousness. Wow, that's heavy stuff. This is cool today. I'm into this today. And it's getting long. I know, and I still have quite a bit to read. But I'm having fun today. I'm taking some time off work, so I have some time to kind of go through this with people. Okay, number 3 is the import of time. Oh, this is a bad one for me because I'm okay. The import of time. Time is the one universal endowment of all will creatures. It is the one talent entrusted to all intelligent beings. You all have time in which to ensure your survival, and time is fatally squandered only when it is buried in neglect. When you fail so to utilize it as to make certain the survival of your soul. Failure to improve one's time, failure to improve one's time to the fullest extent possible does not impose fatal penalties. It merely retards the pilgrim of time from his journey of ascent. If survival is gained, all other losses can be retrieved. Okay. So, but still, this is strange how it talks about that time is a talent that we have, like using time or utilizing time to the fullest is a talent that we have to learn how to do. I don't have that. I'm a horrible procrastinator. I'm just like, oh my God, it's really okay. But I think some of us here, when we wake up in the ascension process, we go through this thing. Life is so hard. I want to go back to sleep. I don't want to deal with this. I want to just be in the illusion here that everything is hunky-dory and I don't have to do anything. But that's that's hard. It's like, because then when you wake up, you have like, oh my gosh, I got all this stuff and I have to simplify stuff. So that's what the point I'm at is, just trying to like make decisions on what parts of my life I need to hold on to. And I have a hard time with sifting through material things because I was born into a very consumerist, materialistic family with this overemphasis on things. So it's hard for me to let go of things, or it's hard for me to take control of or prioritize what's valuable and what's not valuable, because it's hard for me. I think that's what they call a hoarder. Ugh. I don't think I'm that. I hope not. I don't know. Okay. But anyway, so this is important. So these are angels that help us to use time the right way. Because we live here, we die. There's only a little bit of time for us to develop this talent. Okay. All right. But it's gonna retard our ascent here if we don't learn to do it. We have to learn to do it. It's like, okay, it's like it'll wait as long as we want to wait. But meanwhile, galaxies are forming and the Earth is ending, and everything is just going by, and you can sit here until you feel like you want to actually be constructive with this tool that they gave us. They gave us time as a tool for us to use, so we have to use it. In the assignment of trusts, the counsel of the imports of time is invaluable. Time is a vital factor in everything this side of Havona and paradise. In the final judgment before the Ancients of Days, time is an element of evidence. The imports of time must always afford testimony to show that every defendant has had ample time for making decisions and achieving choice. These time evaluators are also the secret of prophecy. They portray the element of time, which will be required in the completion of any undertaking, and they are just as dependable as indicators as are the frandalanx and chronoldex of other living orders. Right? The frandalanx and the chronoldex. Okay, we'll get into them, I think, next paper or two when we talk about the power directors and the that is some wild stuff. How the mechanisms and personalities that are maintaining the physical subatomic interactions that create the space-time potential, yeah, frandalanx and chronoldex. The gods foresee, hence foreknow, but in the ascendant authorities of the universes of time must consult the imports of time to be able to forecast events of the future. So I think the gods or whatever high beings, will take that to mean like divine high beings, can just like say, hey, can I get a couple of frandalanx and a chronoldeck over here so that we can tell what's going to happen with this here space-time continuum. Remember, this one here with this coordinate thing here. Some frandalanx and yeah. But we don't do that. We have to use these imports of time. Okay, you will first encounter these beings on the mansion worlds, and they will there instruct you in the advantageous use of that which you call time, both in its positive employment work and in its negative utilization rest. Both uses of time are important. Okay. So we don't even see these angels until we get to the mansion world. So that's like, a freebie here that I get to procrastinate here until I get to the mansion worlds. Urantia worlds. Mansion worlds. I would not take that for granted. I would not say, I got to work on that. I know it's a problem. Okay, I still have like a page. Yeah, we got to keep going on this. Holy smoke. Okay, so number 4, the solemnity of trust. Trust is the crucial test of will creatures. Right. Oh my gosh. Trust. Trustworthiness is the true measure of self-mastery, character. These Seconaphim accomplish a double purpose in the economy of the super universes. They portray to all will creatures the sense of the obligation, sacredness, and solemnity of trust. At the same time, they unerringly reflect to the governing authorities the exact trustworthiness of any candidate for confidence or trust. On Urantia, you grotesquely essay to read character and to estimate specific abilities. Right, we do that grotesquely. But on Uversia, we actually do these things in perfection. The Seconaphim weigh trustworthiness in the living scales of the unerring character appraisal, and when they have looked at you, we have only to look at them to know the limitations of your ability to discharge responsibility, execute trust, and fulfill missions. Your assets of trustworthiness are clearly set forth alongside your abilities, your liabilities of possible default or betrayal. Wow. So the idea that I want to think of myself as like an infallible, trustworthy person, worthy of trust, but there's circumstances. What are the limits of that trustworthiness? If there's a friend or somebody, right. What are the limits of that? Who says, you can't tell anybody, but you can't tell anybody, but that bad person who's my enemy, I'm gonna kill and rob them, and I'm gonna go to Mexico. And this is like your best friend all of a sudden flipping out and doing this, okay? And they're like tripping psychotic on you like this, okay? Or maybe it's not just your friend. And if it was my friend, okay, no problem. Yep, you need help, honey. I'm not gonna let you do that to that. I'm gonna call the police, and you're gonna thank me when you're well. I'm not going to worry about that. But if it's like your boss, or if you're in the military or some shit, like something like that. And because military people take this solemn. I know Andy's has been in the military, and it's very serious, and you can't betray. You're looking at court martial, and your whole life is shamed, and all of this, your reputation destroyed, everything costs you everything if you're wrong about that. And then that person will just turn around and flip it on you if they have the authority and the trust of the people here. If you refuse to carry out that whatever task or something that was assigned to you by a corrupt superior, a political superior, or something like that. And if you don't do it, they're gonna do it themselves and frame you for it, or flip it around on you, or something like this. Okay, so there's all kinds of so what is your limitation for doing the right thing there? Or will you even be able to know what the right thing is? How developed are you this way? How strong of a sense do you have this way? It can be really, really hard, especially when we're living in a consciousness with this materialism here. People really believe that if they believe in God, this is this prosperity gospel. God loves them. God isn't going to let these bad things happen to them, which is a very disastrous crock of bull. It's like the more developed you are, the more you get tested. Yeah, you have to get tested. What happens when you pass third grade? Oh, you go to a harder grade. You get to go to fourth grade, so it's harder. But we got this idea that, oh, when I pass when I believe in God and I confess my faith, now everybody's going to be my friend and everything's going to be wonderful for me. Okay, things will open up to you, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be without struggle and without learning to discern these things. That's a cult when you buy into this idea that all of a sudden I'm going to have no more problems and somebody's going to make all my decisions for me and I won't have to think about anything. And that's a cult. That's a different kind of fusion, and it can be really destructive. Can be really destructive and really, yeah. So What is your limit, or your limit for betrayal? People come to you and start saying that, oh, you're so wonderful, how, and they love you, and everything that you do is just like, coming up daisies, and they're bringing gold at your. How long before you start to like that and start to expect that kind of stuff? Can you really turn that away and say, no, don't bring me that. I don't want that kind of thing. Just give it to God, give it to charity, give it to people who need it. Thank you very much, but don't put that on me. Yeah. How able are you to direct people away from getting infatuated and obsessed with your person, rather than being able to direct them to the source, to God? That's a huge temptation for a lot of spiritual leaders. Fall into this unwittingly, even, and just it gets there. It's seductive. It's, yeah. So okay, so we have limits to this trustworthy. These solemnity of trust is very serious. Somebody believes in you. You have a responsibility toward them, whatever person, whatever it is. You have to be true. Don't oversell your own abilities. Undersell yourself. Because then people will be depending on you for things that you are not equipped to provide. You can't go around saying, okay, in the name of God, you're saved from the devil. I can't do that. But people go and ask the people to do that for them, and they believe in that, and that's just not cool. Anyway, I'm going to blow my nose here. I'm going to be really rude here and blow my nose. Okay. I'm going to keep reading now. Okay. It is the plan of your superiors to advance you by augmented trust just as fast as your character is sufficiently developed to gracefully bear these added responsibilities. So when we're developed, when we understand these things, we are going to be tested. Oh, but it's okay. We've been to school. We can pass the test if we want to, if we study, if we like bear down and, oh my gosh, I have to do the hard thing instead of the one thing I want to do. Oh, geez. But we can do it. But to overload the individual only courts disaster and ensures disappointment. So they're not going to give us tests that we're not equipped to pass. So we are going to know the answer to the question somewhere in our experience, or we're going to be able to ask God, and we're going to know what's the right thing. And it's gonna be okay. It's okay. If you pray, you want to be good, you want to do the right thing, you're going to be able to pass those tests. And your physical, all the temptations are in these physical, and it's a menagerie we live in. It's beautiful, but it's all limited, it's all temporary, and they're going to take it away anyway. Don't get all hung up on it. Just be truthful to yourself. Be true to yourself. Know yourself. Know your own limits. Say no when you need to say no. It's okay. It's okay. Pray for humility. Humility and love for your fellow man and for God. Okay. And the mistake of placing responsibility prematurely upon either man or angel may be avoided by utilizing the ministry of these infallible estimators of the trust capacity of the individuals of time and space. Okay, so they want to avoid that. They don't want to overtax us. Okay, even though sometimes we want that, we want to be the hero, the one that comes out and saves the day and carries the burden for the all, so that we can be, our name can be written down. All 99.9% of the heroes of this realm, you don't even never heard of their names. They're out there doing things and sacrificing and sacrificing and trying to build pig pens without shoes on, and doing things, doing heroic things without even being provoked, just because they need to, for because the hero doesn't look for acclaim, not a real hero. Yeah. Okay. These Seconaphim ever accompany those high in authority, and never do these executives make assignments until their candidates have been weighed in the Seconaphim balances and pronounced not wanting. We have Seconaphim balances that I'm going to go get weighed on. Okay, number 5, the sanctity of service. The privilege of service immediately follows the discovery of trustworthiness. Nothing can stand between you and opportunity for increased service except your own untrustworthiness, your lack of capacity for appreciation of the solemnity of trust. Service, purposeful service, not slavery, is productive of the highest satisfaction and is expressive of the divinest dignity. Yeah, how many people out there think they're enslaved by some spiritual dogma, and they think they're serving something. They think they're serving God, but they're serving some spiritual dogma. I think of them. I thought of them today. Service, more service, increased service, difficult service, adventurous service, and at last divine and perfect service is the goal of time and the destination of space. But ever will the play cycles of time alternate with the service cycles of progress. And after the service of time, there follows the super service of eternity. Okay, so we have to play too. During the play of time, the play, because it means playing, having fun. You have to serve, you have to go to work and serve and do your job. And then you have to have fun and relax and kick back and have a heavenly barbecue out in the yard and play tennis and badminton or whatever it is. Badminton's better than tennis. Tennis is for athletes. Yeah, I'm not an athlete. No. Okay. During the play of time, you should envision the work of eternity, even as you will. During the service of eternity, reminisce the play of time. So you're thinking about when you're working, you're thinking, oh, I have to get this done so I can go give a shout out to my old pal over there, and we can go head to the hangout and have a nice game and laugh about something. And when you're playing here, when you're relaxing, you're thinking, well, I have to make plans to do what I have to do. That's totally on. That's right. That's totally on point. Yep, that's balanced. balanced. The universal economy is based on intake and output. Throughout the eternal career, you will never encounter monotony of an action or stagnation of personality. Progress is made possible by inherent motion. Advancement grows out of the divine capacity for action. And achievement is the child of imaginative adventure. Right. Oh, yeah. I imagine adventures plenty. But inherent in this capacity for achievement is the responsibility of ethics, the necessity for recognizing that the world and the universe are filled with a multitude of differing types of beings. All of this magnificent creation, including yourself, was not made just for you. So you were made not just for you. You were made for everybody else or for some other people. Like, I was made for Andy, right? Andy was made for me. So, and yeah. So it's not just you. It's not everything. It's about everybody. Yeah, all this magnificent creation, including yourself, was not made just for you. This is not an egocentric universe the gods have decreed. It is more blessed to give than to receive. And said your master, son, he who would be greatest among you, let him be server of all. Okay? Well, I just want everything to be okay. I don't have this idea that I want to be greatest among anybody. I really I don't like that. I just want everything to be nice. I want everybody to be nice to each other. That's all. Don't want people to be mean or unhappy or uncared for or forgotten. Everybody gets to be included. Everybody gets to bring what they can bring and take what they need. That's communism, actually. But I think on it probably works that way in heaven. Probably can't work that way on earth because we're all anxious about, am I going to have enough? What about me? Okay. Yeah. Don't worry about yourself so much. You're okay. Okay. The real nature of any service, be it rendered by man or angel, is fully revealed in the faces of these seraphic service indicators, the sanctities of service. The full analysis of the true and of the hidden motives is clearly shown. These angels are indeed the mind readers, heart searchers, and soul revealers of the universe. Okay. So these are the sanctities of service. The full analysis of the true and the hidden motives is shown by these guys. Okay, so the mortals may employ words to conceal their thoughts, but these high Seconaphim lay bare the deep motives of the human heart and of the angelic mind. So these guys are the ones that know that, because sometimes when you're doing something nice for somebody, it's just so that you can get recognized, or you can get the reward that I want, or or like you're like Donald Trump holding the Bible upside down and yeah, this is my book, and taking the selfie with the whatever. That's all stupid. They see through all of those false motives. You're just doing that to get what you want. You don't really mean that. You're just saying that because you want this kind of a reaction, and it's not like all the political promises that they put out just so they can get elected. that kind of stuff. They know, they see right through that. They know. These guys just know that. I don't know. Yeah, politics is something else. So I don't know if there is such thing as a honest politician anymore. It's really hard. But I think we've created this monstrosity of a system. It wasn't always like that. It wasn't always like that where people are so yeah, I don't know. Okay, so 6 and 7, the last one here. The secret of greatness and the soul of goodness. The ascending pilgrims, having awakened to the import of time, the way is prepared for the realization of the solemnity of trust and for the appreciation of the sanctity of service. Well, these are the moral elements of greatness. There are also secrets of greatness. Okay, so they are prepared for the solemnity of trust and the sanctity of service. And while, yeah, they're the moral element, there's also secrets of greatness. What is the secret of greatness? So you have to do more than just do your job. Be trustworthy, and be serve what you're supposed to serve. Okay, when the spiritual tests of greatness are applied, the moral elements are not disregarded, but the quality of unselfishness revealed in disinterested labor for the welfare of one's earthly fellows, particularly worthy beings in need and in distress. That is the real measure of planetary greatness. And the manifestation of greatness on a world like Urantia is the exhibition of self-control. Okay. The great man is not he who takes a city or overthrows a nation, but rather he who subdues his own tongue. Okay, so that's self-control. That is self-control. I'm learning that more. I feel like I am called all the time to nurture my earthly fellows, the ones that are in distress. I have to hold myself back from doing that a lot of times too much. But holding your own tongue, that's huge. Okay, that's huge. Greatness is synonymous with divinity. God is supremely great and good. Greatness and goodness simply cannot be divorced. And I think we're not talking about, good is great is like a higher degree than good. It's like the same thing, but more of it. I don't think that's what they're talking about. Okay. They cannot be divorced, though. This truth that they are forever made one in God. This truth is literally and strikingly illustrated by the reflective interdependence of the secret of greatness and the soul of goodness, for neither can function without the other. In reflecting other qualities of divinity, the superuniverse, Seconaphim, can and do act alone, but the reflective estimates of greatness and of goodness appear to be inseparable. Okay, so these two kinds of angels work together. Hence, on any world, in any universe, must these reflectors of greatness and of goodness work together, always showing a dual and mutually dependent report of every being upon whom they focalize. Greatness cannot be estimated without knowing the content of goodness, while goodness cannot be portrayed without exhibiting its inherent and divine greatness. Could this be something like greatness is like the well-known, like expansive nature of like a person who's like how expansive, how far-reaching are the implications of my generosity and my benevolence and my, okay, greatness. And goodness is how pure the inner core of my intent, my relationship with God, how pure is that source here and incorruptible is that inner light. Okay? That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm reading. That's what I'm picking up. So the goodness is how pure, how humble my soul, right? I'm not, my motivation for performing services is pure, simple, good, and and great. How far-reaching are the consequences of my ministry, my service to my fellow beings. Okay. All right. The estimate of greatness varies from sphere to sphere. To be great is to be godlike. And since the quality of greatness is wholly determined by the content of goodness, it follows that even in your present human estate, if you can, through grace, become good, you are thereby becoming great. The more steadfastly you behold and the more persistently you pursue the concepts of divine goodness, the more certainly will you grow in greatness, in true magnitude of genuine survival character. And we are done. This is the longest program I ever did in my life, but I feel like I thoroughly addressed it. I feel actually really good about it. Because sometimes I feel like I'm doing this, I'm kind of in a hurry because I'm kind of like, okay, I got 20 minutes to do this. I got to roll through it. You know what I mean? But I didn't do that. I spent like a freaking hour and 12 minutes and 27 seconds. And it's because, I don't know, because I felt like it. Okay. All right. Bye. Have a good day.